about that, what you just brought up, and this is like the biggest thing for me, as far as like this big dispute of like whether or not you should go remote or you should go back to the office. Is everything okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Whether you should go to the remote or you should go back to the office is, I think there's nothing more enticing than being face to face with people and being in person. So I'm a big proponent on going back to the office at least some time, because there's something to be said about you and I interacting right now in person that we could never get, at least for now, that we could never get like through a Zoom call, you know, which is going to change. It's going to change.
Maybe you say gonna change, but maybe that's worth investigating and testing right now.
Totally. And I agree with that completely. That's why I'm adopting.
We got to A/B test it.
The metaverse or whatever that's going to be what it is, right? But for now, like I'm like, not like I could tell you something for sure. Like my A/B test is like I have a business that I run completely remote right now, and I know like the littlest problems that we fall on or the littlest like oversights is because we're not in person with each other every day, going over these things. 100%.
Okay.
And so we've solved that.
But you're not doing it in the metaverse. You're doing it over Zoom.
No. I get that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's oversights being happen because we can be in like a virtual chat all day, and that helps a lot.
Yeah.
But like you get off a Zoom call and then you're like doing your own thing. It's hard for you to like, the collaboration has a lot of gaps when you're working remote with people. You know, like let's put it this way: like you and I in an office for 2 hours talking about the podcast, we'll get more done those 2 hours if we're really working and we're like working together than we will like in 2 weeks of meetings, right?
So I don't know. I think I might disagree with that.
Yeah, I think it's very true, because it's just like the little things, like, hey, did you talk to so and so about this? Oh, hey, by the way, I talked to our client about this. Just wanted to let you know I forgot about that. Well, if you keep
the meeting running in the background, I think it could act like it's not an actual meeting. It's I guess it's not a quote unquote meeting. It's more of we're in the same space together, kind of.
Metaverse is going to change that. What we do is we do Google Meet, as you know, but we just keep it on. We call it virtual chat. So we're like, hey, I'm in virtual. If anybody needs company while they're working, jump in there. That helps a lot, because you're like working and then you're talking to each other, it builds camaraderie or whatever, and then like you're like, oh shoot, I forgot to tell Justin about this. And
it helps you stay on track, because you know the other people around you are on track.
That's
in the same virtual space as you. You know?
Exactly. So it isn't like you have to adapt to something like that, to virtual chat, to the metaverse, because yeah, you're right, because it does something when you're working side by side with somebody, or at least you're feeling like you are.
Because you also got to take into account the 20-minute drive it takes to get downtown, and the 20-minute drive back. That's 40 minutes. Is that 40 minutes contributed into like the less proficient or the less effective? Like maybe a Zoom call is less effective than actual in person. But what if it's only 40 minutes less effective? Then that makes it exactly equal. Yeah,
I think so. I think sometimes things will take weeks to get, like, there could have been certain things if we're working side by side with each other. And again, like, I think there's a lot here. If we're like in a virtual chat for 8 hours straight, we're gonna get a lot of things done with one another.
For sure.
There's always gonna be like I also get a lot more done at the house being remote. You know, like my house is like, it's a tight ship there. So there's going to be a hybrid, I think, of different things. And I think that's why, I don't know if you heard, who was it? Was it, is it Howard Schultz from Starbucks? I think so. He's like, I'm literally going to get on my knees and like, and beg you to come back to the office and work. That's what he was telling like a lot of his like headquarters.
Well, Elon
officials.
Musk was talking about it too.
Yeah,
you know, he was in all the headlines for saying that they can go pretend to work somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, when I get together, even for like recon specifically, when we're all together, the 3 or 4 of us are together, we get like 3 weeks worth of like shit we should have gotten done when we're just together. You know, together in one office. Boom, 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 boom.
You see, when I'm with someone in an office, or if I'm at a coffee shop and there's other people around me, I find it distracting. I find I get less work done. I need pure isolation. So if we can figure out what we need on a phone call and then get into isolation mode, I think that's best for me.
It's also
because I can always text you.
That's true, and it's also a little bit different too, because a lot of your stuff is like editing, so you require less distractions as opposed to like, well, it depends too, because you are client facing. But I was gonna say, like, if we're on a call with a client and there's like 17 things they gotta get done, and we're like, shoot, we can do this all now. Do we really need to push this back into the next time we meet them and be like, oh, we've gotten half of them done, or can we just get them done all right now together? But like you said, it depends on the industry and like the work that you're doing. Because like editing, you just need no distractions, and you just need to be dialed into that and get it done.
Well, also learning, a lot of my time, probably about at this point right now, about 60, 70, maybe even 80% of my time is learning. I'd probably say 30, 40%. Yeah, 30, 40% is actually implementing and actually doing and implementing what I'm learning, but most of the time I'm actually absorbing, and that takes concentration and focus. And then there's the editing, and then if I'm building a campaign, I don't want distractions. I'm also, this is my personality type, I would rather figure out something myself, even if it takes 4 times longer than asking someone a question. And that is a flaw, and hopefully a benefit, hopefully something that's good too. But I know it's a flaw of mine, because I will, if I have a client project, I know I can just ask them, hey, can you send me the logo? I will spend more time finding their logo on the internet myself, even finding a low resolution version of it. And then maybe, this is where it is a major flaw. Earlier this week, I literally rebuilt someone's logo just so I didn't have to ask them to send me their logo. I built it from fucking scratch, dude, in Illustrator. I was like, just so I didn't have to ask it, because it was super low res, and it was super low res everywhere. I was like, this dude doesn't even probably have one. But I could have just asked him, because what if he did? Yeah. And I would have saved myself 3 hours. Yeah. But I'm stubborn like that. It's like, the reason why I do this is because I don't want someone to know I'm weird like that. I don't want them to know when I'm working on their shit. It's like, I want to work it on my time, and for some reason I'm weird like that. It's like, I don't want people to know that, and I don't know why I don't want people to know that. It's just like, I don't know. It's a weird self-conscious thing. Yeah. And it's something I'm realizing now as I'm verbalizing it in the moment.
Yeah. Sometimes you just talk things out, and you got to understand who you are as a person, but also as a worker. Mm-hmm. You're a problem solver. So
yes,
that a lot of people don't have that. So like, problem solvers were usually good at science and math, because like, I mean, everything else is like memorization, right? Like you can memorize history, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to necessarily solve for X in history, but in math you do. I mean, you can, but
because a lot of history is up for debate, and you have to actually use science to figure out what's true and what's not.
But like, if you think about like just basic everything, like math by and large is like, it's exercising that problem solving muscle that people want to do. That's why some people don't like math versus not, because you have to like, it's a lot harder than just like, oh, I have to memorize ABC, like whatever the answer is to this question.
Yeah, I get the principle of what you're saying, for sure.
You're a problem solver is what I'm saying. That's why like a lot of engineers they like the isolation, because they have to like be alone in their thoughts and figure something out. Mm-hmm. And so like, that can be a pro and a con, like you were just talking about. And it also means that you work better in different environments too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, maybe you working, say I get my mental health, social hour for 30 minutes, but then I got to work 4 hours straight in isolation. But I definitely think that some level of social interaction in your workspace helps build culture, and it helps with mental health too. So we have to and we're going to figure it out as a site. We've always figured things out, but we have to be able to marriage the two. The feeling that you are in person talking or collaborating with others, so you can build a culture and build off of other thoughts, has to be involved. More so than what we've been doing. Zoom can cut it, but it cuts it to a certain extent. We're not there yet.
Well, that's where I think the VR, actual virtual reality, like if you've ever played around, and actually I want you to get an Oculus as well too, because I actually want to experience what it's like having a meeting where we're in the same space and we can push a paper. I can literally push a virtual paper to you, and you can literally grab it and pick it up, and you can feel it in your hands virtually. Like, you're not feeling the actual paper, but it's giving you the sensation of the paper. It's like, and if it gives you the sensation enough to where it's indistinguishable, then it is indistinguishable, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't matter whether molecules or digits. If it gives you the same exact sensation that is indistinguishable, then it's the same thing.
Are we in the Matrix, Andrew?
Not yet. I couldn't call it. I am wearing Matrix underwear, though. Sheath Underwear, a sponsor of the show. Use the code COSBP20 to get 20% off.
Yeah, they're going to merge. Those two worlds are totally going to merge, and that's so true. Like, in that feeling, like, again, especially when you're going to be able to, like, again, smell, taste things, like, hear things, like, it's going to be super interesting, and that's exciting times, man. Like, I think people, like, they're either like totally against it or totally like so much like I want to adopt it so much. I'm kind of like in the middle where I'm like, you gotta tread lightly and tread with caution, because this is also can be dangerous in the wrong hands and will happen.
I have a